Hello and welcome to another Experts in AI here at ATxSG. I'm Ben Wadecki and I'm honored to be joined by Wilmer, the Senior Consultant at Omdia at the Applied Intelligence Group. Wilmer, thank you so much for coming. How's it going?
Yeah, very, very good. Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you for joining us. So today we've got a really interesting topic. We're talking 5 of the consulting trends that you are enjoying at the moment, witnessing at the moment. So you'll cover so much work over so many different spots, but we're covering 5. I'm going to take that from the top because I fumbled far too many times for that to be edited. No, that's okay. So today we're talking about 5 key consultant topics that you've witnessed in your work. Now you're covering so many different areas of tech across industries, but we're narrowing it down to 5, and these are the things that companies are asking you for advice on. So we're going to start with AI. What are people in the AI space coming to you with questions on at the moment?
Yes, actually, for AI is a very hot topic. So right now, the people are very interested to know what AI can do for particular industry. As you know, the AI is an infrastructure technology, so it's like a horizontal technology. So it's a basic technology for industry, but for vertical industry, the user cases and working scenario is quite different. So each vertical industry have some dedicated requirement for AI. So the AI company, the AI technology company, and the AI application company are interested to know what AI can do for dedicated vertical industry. For example, the AI for image sensor, for the image analyze and detector, it's one of the basic technology, but they can use in very various kind of vertical industries, such as video surveillance. They use AI to detect the people, to do the people account, also do the people's facial recognition. So they have various kind of application. So that means the AI can support various vertical industry. So this is what people are interested about for AI. Yeah.
So that's AI. Now, the applications of AI can be applied to various industries like you've talked on, but one of the main ones that we want monitor is manufacturing. Mm-hmm. In terms of that kind of narrower area, because AI is very broad, what are people coming to you when it comes to manufacturing?
Yes, it's a good question. And for manufacturing, the people want to know down the production cost and increase the production efficiency. So they are very interested to know how AI can do that. So many manufacturer and also some industry automation company try to find the AI product and the AI solution to use in the manufacturing sector, such as the defect analyze and also the object visualization for the manufacturing. This kind of technology can replace some labor because a worker, for example, for the display industry, there is some failure defect on the display screen. In the past time, many workers should use the eye to try to find the defect. Right now, the AI can help these workers to do this automatically. So it's quite largely increase the efficiency of production and low down the cost because they don't need so many workers for this kind of production line. Yeah, so that's the manufacturing people are interested in about AI.
That's awesome. I think number 3 is a real hot button topic, and that's semiconductors.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to assume that most clients are asking for help with regards to the chip shortages. Am I in the right lanes? What are people asking you?
Yes, currently the chip shortage is also a question mark for the semiconductor industry, for the whole supply chain. but it's quite different with last year, because last year many semiconductor are shortage. But right now maybe it's depend on the application and dedicated type. Currently, I think some MCU for automotive still in shortage, and also some small single and analog chip are also shortage for the automotive, and many big chips such as CPU or some memory has no in shortage. And I think this shortage situation will gradually be released. Maybe by end of this year, most of the semiconductor type will not in shortage. But I think that's a normal situation for semiconductor industry. As you know, the semiconductor industry is a cycling industry for so many years. So there is a up and down for this industry. So many foundries and OSAT are hesitant to expand the production capacity. So that's also caused the shortage. But another issue is geographic political issues. Maybe it's another parameters for this industry. That means the semiconductor industry will try to expand the capacity regionally. Maybe Europe have their own plan, China has their own plan, US also try to draw back the production capacity. So that means this industry will expand, maybe continue in the following years. That's my idea, and the customer also interested to know that.
Good. Well, it's certainly a topic that will never go away, I must admit. So another piece of hardware that I'd like to discuss in terms of consulting views is IoT. In terms of what are people coming to you when it comes to kind of connected devices, things like that. How are you viewing IoT customers right now?
Yes, and for IoT industry, it's also very fragmented industry.
Mm-hmm.
They have very various kind of vertical market like agriculture, manufacturing, medical, consumer, and government. So every vertical market have their own requirement for IoT. But from our perspective, we think the IoT industry is data collection, data computing, and data storage. Uh, just try to analyze the data and give some output to the customer. So currently, I think some companies are interested to know how the IoT integrated with AI. For example, one of our key customers also asked us how to integrate the sensor with MCU.
Okay.
Yeah, and also they want to know the MCU plus some NPU inside. As you know, the MCU is they have low capacity, maybe for some real-time scenario. But in some user cases, they want to have more computing power, inside. So they need an NPU co-work with MCU and work together. Maybe some component device supplier also want to integrate the sensor into the MCU as a whole package. So they provide this kind of solution in some dedicated application. So I think it's a trend, but this trend is not for all of the industry. Again, the IoT industry is a vertical industry, fragmented. So each vertical industry have the dedicated requirement. So that's my key points. Yeah.
And the final one is just as fragmented, and that's robotics.
Yeah.
I think there's been a lot of hype that's kind of washed away, and we're now seeing practical applications of robotics in several industries, a couple of which we've touched on already. But what are kind of customers coming to you when it comes to this sort of space?
Yeah, for robots, I think it depends on different kinds of robots. For industry robots, it's a little bit mature. So as you know, the big four industry robot company dominate the market, but there is also some emerging new robot company to try to enter the market. But the big four still dominate maybe 60 or 70% of the market share. So that means the emerging industry robots, they should do some new cases or new working scenario and try to differentiate themselves with the big four. So that's the strategy. So we waitlist try to provide some collaborative robots to interact with people. So that's one of the trend. And another trend is this kind of robot company, they will cooperate with some component company to integrate some sensors or some special fixture into the robots and integrate the robot in the whole production line. So that means they need to know some industry know-how for dedicated industry. Again, you are right, it's fragmented. So they need to know the vertical market very well and much better than the big four traditional industry robot. That's the strategy, yeah.
So Wilmer, we've talked about a lot of different areas of tech, and there's others that customers that you haven't been discussed in these five. What can yourself and the other consultants at Omdia do to help brands and businesses that need help in these spaces and others?
Yes, I think as a consultant for Omdia, as you know, Omdia is a market research and industry analysis company. So firstly, we can provide the market information such as product unit shipments, market size, market share, and the competitive environment. That's the basic things for our customer. And secondly, I think based on our detailed market data, we also can provide some consultant advice and suggestion to our customer. So such as how to enter the new market, how to build up your capability, how to differentiate yourself to your competitors. So that we also can provide this kind of advice and insight for our customer. Yeah, I think that's the two things we can do for our customer. Yeah.
Well, they know who to contact, and hopefully you'll be helping some more brands in the near future. But Wilmer, until then, thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.